I used to spiral every time we were not together. I would cry almost every day and feel super anxious, and I could barely function in the times when we were not together. Now I feel completely different. I feel grounded, connected, at peace, most of the time. But I certainly know that that shift did not happen overnight. The truth is that I spent most of my adult life in the long distance relationship, and while they were never easy, they certainly taught me so much about love, patience, connection, and how to make it really work without losing your mind. In this video, I want to share with you what really helped me make it work and keep my sanity in the process. And it's truly everything I wish someone had told me back then when I was struggling. So I'm sitting here on this beautiful summer morning and I'm alone, and I kind of wish I wasn't. The truth is that when you're in a long distance relationship, that type of situations happen to you almost all the time. And usually I'm extremely private about my dating life, but there are quite a few things that I've been struggling with in the past few months, and I thought that maybe sharing it would help me process things much better, and that maybe my experience would help you navigate yours, long distance relationship or any relationship for that matter. But before jumping into giving my 5 tips on how to make this long distance relationship work and how to keep your sanity in the process, I thought that maybe it would make sense to give you a little bit of a backstory. I've had 3 long-distance relationships for the past 7 to 8 years. One of them lasted for over a year, the other one for 3.5 years, and currently I'm in my 3rd one. So yeah, I'm still doing it to myself for whatever reason, I don't know, but anyway. And my first long-distance relationship happened when I was super young. I was 19 at the time, and I remember it as one of the lightest experiences I had, although it did end with a lot of drama. I still think it was very easy and light, at least those are the memories that I have. And I think one of the reasons for that is that I was just probably not giving it too much meaning at the time because I was young, and also because we were both actually too young to make it last and to make it work long term. Now, my second relationship was a completely different experience, I must say. And I remember it as one of the most emotionally draining and difficult periods of my life. I don't think I've ever lived with such extreme levels of anxiety, uncertainty, and just completely losing the sense of who I was and what my life should be. But I also remember it as one of the most loving periods of my life. So it's really complicated. And I truly made all types of mistakes that I could in that relationship. And I think because of those mistakes, it actually lasted for as long as it lasted. Now I'm in my 3rd time with all the lessons that I've learned in the previous long distance relationship. And unlike the previous one, it does not feel heavy, it does not feel restrictive. And it kind of gives me the space to be who I want to be and build the life that I want to build. It is of course not without the challenges, but those, I think, we're making it work so far. So with that in mind, I would like to share with you 5 tips on how to make the long distance relationship work and how not to lose your mind and yourself in the process. One of the biggest mistakes that I've made early on in my previous relationship was putting everything on pause. I would wait to do anything I wanted to do until the time we would be together again. I would postpone doing activities I always dreamed of doing. I would postpone going to theaters, cinema. I would not meet my friends. I would not travel, and I would sit and wait for the time when we are together to do all those things together. It was also the wish of my partner, but that kind of made it really bad in the end of the day, because it made me feel that I'm not living, and it made me feel so restrictive in my own life, and I feel like I'm missing out on so much while I'm in my best young years. And the truth is that in the end, when that relationship ended, I realized that I had nothing left in my life. I had no friends, I had no hobbies, I had no work, I had no money. I really had nothing in my life that would hold me back, and that really took everything from me. It was really one of the hardest periods I had to go through, all because I did not have the life outside of that relationship. So what I would really advise you is that use this free time that you've got away from your partner to invest this time in yourself, in your goals, in your career, in your hobbies, in your family, in your friends, and build the life that would support you when you are not together, that would give you a sense of comfort and stability, but that would also give you a sense of comfort in case the things go rough, because you will not find yourself in a situation the way I did, when you have nothing that would hold you back when you have nothing left. When you're not together, when you're far away from each other and your lives are kind of disconnected, it's so easy to start overthinking, to misread the silence, to overthink what they might be doing or what they might not be doing, what they really mean to you, what you mean to them. And a lot of those anxieties come from a lack of trust and comfort. If you feel that way, you just have to say it. Even if it does feel embarrassing, even if you know it's probably not true or it's uncomfortable to speak about it, just say it. Because the truth is that you're probably overthinking, and sharing it and hearing an answer from your partner would give you a sense of reassurance. And the chances are that your partner might actually feeling the same way and he's also not having the courage to say it. So maybe you saying and communicating your anxieties or insecurities or whatever that is that worries you would help them to open up, and you probably find out that you're feeling the same way. That really gives you a sense of comfort and safety in the relationship. When you're not together, it's very easy to get lost in all the other things that you're living or going through. It could be your family, your work, your hobbies, and you might feel that you are not having enough time to give to your partner. But the truth is, in order for you to make the long distance relationship work, you really should stay connected. And to stay connected, you have to make time for it. Do the things that make you feel connected. I don't know, maybe watch a movie together, or go on a virtual walk, have a long call, or maybe have an online date. Whatever makes you feel close, try to do it. And I know that spending time online together is not exactly the same as being physically together, and I feel the same way. Sometimes I just don't feel like it's pleasant enough, and I would rather do some other things that are more exciting because they're physical. But you need to find the time, you need to make the time for each other, because that helps you feel trust and connection to your partner. At the same time, it also shows them that they are important to you, and you can also see that you're important to them because you both make time for each other, no matter how busy or difficult life might get when you're far away from each other. And now the tip number 4, and I think this one is really huge for your peace of mind and also for the long-term future of your relationship. You have to know when the distance will end. You have to have a date in mind. You have to understand and feel that this long distance stage is only temporary. Maybe it's months away, maybe it's years away, but you have to have a certain date in your head when you will finally be together. This really helps you stay committed because you know it's temporary, but it also helps you stay aligned on the long-term future of your relationship, and that you both really want the same thing and you both see each other in each other's life long-term. And it's not just about the big picture. I think it also helps when you have a date in mind for your next visit, because that brings you much more comfort and clarity and something to look forward to, instead of just hanging in there and not knowing when you will see each other again. That really, to me, I feel like it brought so much anxiety and uncertainty about who we are for each other and where we are going, because I didn't even know when we would be together next time. It really, really was one of the biggest factors of my anxiety in that relationship. When you're far away, and I felt this way too often, it's very easy to think that you're just a play or a toy and you're separated from the real life that they're having. And I found that what really helps me is to feel included in the day-to-day life that they're having. It could be small things like going to a coffee shop, having a joke, or having a small moment to share, your routine, your little gossips, anything that is present there in their day-to-day life and that is shared with me makes me feel more included in their life outside of us. And also what really makes a difference is actually to be introduced into that life. I don't know, be introduced to their family, to their friends, to their colleagues, whoever it is that is really makes a big part of their life. When you feel included into that life, it makes you feel much more secure and confident in your partner, and I feel like it really contributes to the trust that you're building and to, again, security in the relationship, that you're really in for the long run and you're not just together for the time being. The bottom line is really that long distance relationship is always a gamble. It might work out, but it might also not work out. And I think that's the case for any relationship in general. But what's really important to make it last and also to keep your mind at peace when you're not together is to really build that life outside of that relationship, make each other part of each other's life, introduce each other, and also have some aligned vision for when that relationship, when that long distance stage will finally end. That would really bring you a lot of comfort and a sense of tranquility about the long-term future, but also about the commitments on your behalf and on behalf of your partner. Now I really want to hear from you and your experience. I want to know how your long distance relationship worked out, what was the most difficult part, what are you struggling with, and what really made it work for you. And if you are not in a long distance relationship, I would still love to hear from you and hear what you think. So please feel free to share a comment and your thoughts below. And also put a like, subscribe. And if you want to know more about this topic, which I'm apparently a very big pro in, leave a comment below and I will maybe make another video on it. All right, lots of love.